It's funny, I really lament my parents' generation where the father wasn't even around for the delivery of the baby and didn't have any expectation to be hands-on. Sometimes I know, particularly more with dads, you kind of think, what am I going to do with this kid? I think a lot of dads kind of want an older kid that they can just immediately play ball with, or, well, the reality is that if you don't start from the beginning, they might not even want to play ball. So you better put that time in early so that they start liking tennis and playing catch or whatever it is that you like to do. Well, one thing I remember before I had kids, you're worried about, like, what do you do with a kid? Like, how do you entertain them? And if they cry, how do you get it to stop? But as a father, especially if you're a hands-on father.
You learn, my gosh, if you're in there, you learn how to dress them, you learn how to feed them, and then you know things that are specific to your own child.
I got comfortable with the idea that it's really easy to not just soothe a child, but to entertain a child. You can just whip out your keys or give them, you know, something to put in their mouth that won't kill them. And they're usually pretty happy at a young age.
The key part is just being there, just trying. You'll figure it out, and there's much harder things in the world.
So many men are scared they're going to break them, that they're going to do something wrong, that they're going to hurt them. The men I've watched they're much more gentle than the women are, actually.
It's also good to know that kids are pretty resilient. They're pretty tough. I don't know if every child is as durable as my children, but I don't even think my son's nerves are connected to anything.
There's this sort of feelings in the back of our heads, you know, both male and female, that sometimes, oh no, let the mother, you know, handle some of these nurturing responsibilities.
So they're intimidated by our perceived skill. Funny enough, the women often don't feel like they have those skills.
And as men, we say, well, we can't ask. Or lastly, the spouse doesn't give that person a chance.
But I think we're wired to be gatekeepers, and we need to allow fathers to father.
This idea of a father going out and being the breadwinner and not spending as much time in the household and contributing to the day-to-day functioning of a household, you know, that's so 80s, you know.
There are X number of tasks to do per week. We all know what they are. Pay the bills, laundry, you gotta eat, and those have to be divvied up. There are no more sacred tasks assigned to one sex or the other, although I do tend to kill spiders more often than not.
So if it means that the dad is taking care of more of the domestic duties and is playing more of the job of nurturing the children, you have to find the formula that works for you.
There's nothing better than watching a dad parenting well.
Oh, it's totally sexy and gorgeous and romantic when a guy actually chooses to change a set of diapers, you know?
Oh, the bond that you build is chemical, psychological, it's, you know.
We're sort of emotionally underdeveloped in some ways when it comes to nurturing our children and showing affection because we weren't socialized to be this way.
Guys kind of bragging about their idea of parenting, you know, like they're kind of, oh, I don't do that. Like there's certain things, oh, I don't do, you know, well, they don't do diapers. I've heard that like a lot. They don't even realize they're bragging about being a bad father, but that's what they're bragging about. You're missing out, you know.
But what's the penalty to that? The penalty is your contribution.
I think that there's a danger in not being that parent or trying to be that parent because you're alienating yourself. There's just certain circumstances where all of a sudden they are going to want their mom. They won't want you if you don't, you know, develop that relationship with them.
Like everything else, you keep at it, you keep trying, you'll figure out your own baby. And if you are able to leave some of your hang-ups at home, it's actually kind of fun. You know, it's okay, it's cool to be a dad. Look at Hollywood.